Osmose is an immersive virtual environment created by Shar Davies and her team at Soft Image. As a space for exploring the interaction between self and world, Osmose allows one to let go of habitual perceptions and explore the subjective experience of consciousness as being in the world. As Gaston Bachelard wrote in The Poetics of Space 40 years ago, by changing space, by leaving the space of one's usual sensibilities, one enters into communication with a space that is psychically innovating. For we do not change place, we change our nature. Osmose is such a space. In contrast to current tendencies in interactive art that aim to create a shared experience, Osmose is based on solitude. For as Bachelard wrote, it is only when human solitude deepens that the intimate space of self and world space blend. Immersion in Osmose begins with the donning of a body sensor vest and a head-mounted display. The first world encountered is a three-dimensional grid, an orientation space referring to the Cartesian coordinates associated with computer technology. With the Immersence's first breaths, this grid gives way to a clearing. There are 12 worlds in Osmose, of which the clearing with its pond and archetypal tree is the central metaphor. It is possible to travel anywhere within these worlds by simply breathing, in to rise, out to fall, while leaning gently to change direction. As one floats, one's mind and body become calm, and desire for speed gives way to contemplation. Distinctions between figure and ground dissolve, for here there are no solid objects in empty space, only translucency, subtle textures, and spatial ambiguity. Transparency, combined with long, slow transitions, makes it possible to hover between worlds in non-Cartesian space. The sounds in Osmose, sampled from a male and female voice, are also guided by this aesthetic of ambiguity. Localized in 3 dimensions, and responsive to changes in the Immersence's behavior, such as direction of gaze, location, and speed, these sounds play an essential role in evoking presence. This aesthetic is meant to evoke meaning rather than illustrate, and originates in Shar Davies' previous work as a painter. To experience immersion in Osmose, one has to dress, like a diver entering the sea. A simple vest worn over the body torso allows the tracking of breath and balance. This vest has 3 motion capture sensors. One sensor is on the front to measure expansion and contraction of the chest. The other 2 sensors are 3D position trackers located on the back at the top and base of the spine. These measure body tilt. The Immersion also wears a head-mounted display, which provides stereoscopic computer graphics and 3D sound. A head-mounted display is essential to Osmos because it creates a sense of full-body immersion in enveloping space. It is possible to travel simply by shifting one's center of balance, leaning forward to go forward, back to go back, left to go left, and right to go right, and breathing in to rise, breathing out to fall. In Osmos, one does not drive, or ride, or fly. One floats. This approach is inspired by Shar Devi's experience of scuba diving. Here, she practices buoyancy control, using breath and balance to maneuver in oceanic space. In Osmos, these methods are used not only to navigate through virtual space, but also to relax the body and lead the mind into an altered state of awareness. In this state, as calming as in meditation, one's attention slips into contemplative freefall. One of the greatest technical challenges in Osmos was creating Shar Devi's visual aesthetic. More than 20 particle systems were used for the luminous streams that flow throughout the worlds. Most challenging technically was finding a way to create transparency and translucency in real time, in order to evoke rather than illustrate. Although the models and animations were created in Softimage 3D, more than 20,000 lines of additional code were written to render the images in real time, read the motion sensor data, control the sound equipment, etc. Osmos runs on a Silicon Graphics Onyx, with connections to a Crystal River Acoustitron, MIDI gear, and a Macintosh Quadra for sound control. Seen here is a simulation of the Osmos installation at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Montreal. This is the visitor area with silhouette screen and stereoscopic video projection. Adjacent to this area is a separate chamber where visitors can experience immersion in complete privacy. This room contains the vest, motion trackers, helmet, and keyboard monitor to allow the attendant to follow the Immersion's progress. A light in this room casts a shadow of the Immersion onto a translucent screen. Although immersion in Osmos is a solitary experience, the private becomes shared, as the journey of each immersant is projected live into the public space. Museum visitors wear polarized glasses to watch the live video projection in stereoscopy, as well as headphones to hear the full 3D sound effect. They can witness the journeys in real time, looking behind to watch the silhouetted body gestures of each immersant. The silhouette screen and the video projection face each other across the visitor area. Metaphorically a doorway and a window, they open from the darkness into Osmos' luminous space. There are a dozen worlds in Osmos, arranged spatially around the clearing. In a 15-minute journey, one can travel through all these spaces, or linger in just a few. Following are excerpts of the worlds recorded live. In the text world, there are excerpts from Bachelard, Heidegger, Rilke, and others on technology, the body, and nature as metaphor. Together, the worlds of text and code act as conceptual parentheses around the work. After 15 minutes of immersion, the session is gently brought to a close. Shardavi's intent in this work was to develop an alternative aesthetic for VR in terms of graphics, sound, and interactive sensibility. Several thousand people have been immersed in Osmos, and thousands more have witnessed their journeys in real time. Based on participant response, immersion in Osmos has a profound effect.
That's so sad when it pulls away from you and you're left. The suggestivity of it. Just to be there floating. Other environments, they're all so solid and so fake because of that solidity, and you just tell that there's nothing real about it whatsoever, and you get into that, and it's a unified, complete piece. It's all of a whole, and the light and the transparency and the texture and the way you move, it's stunning. And it's really hard to talk and put any words together after that. So.
I don't know, it was really like skin diving, like I was floating in the water. But there was something very strange about the sensation. It was something more than skin diving, but somehow different. It was like I was in this kind of large space that kept shrinking and getting bigger again. Feeling like there's something natural about it and yet something unnatural about it as well. Very strange mixture of like a sensation about nature, right, and not really understanding what that sensation is, but saying something about the feeling of exploration. But I wasn't really conscious of my body at all. It was like the first few minutes you have to adjust to the space, and then after a while I kind of completely forgot where I was or what I was doing. You know, like I wasn't thinking that I was in a museum or anything like that. I'm thinking, okay, I'm in here, I'm in this space, I'm moving around, I'm swimming. And just, I don't know, it was incredible. It was sort of like dying and going to heaven or something. And like I can imagine you would, you know, like it's like a mythological kind of nature. It's the way that you following light and looking at the way light is moving around and things, but then there's like these sort of solid forms that aren't really solid and you can float through them. Well, I think a lot of it is to do with the illusion, the interface, the way that makes you feel like I mean, it's very easy, very intuitive to, you know, you breathe in and you go up. It's very, very intuitive, and just you have this sort of sense of that, like you're a traveller, like you're on a journey, and some part of it seems almost like you're not controlling the destiny of the journey, and part of it is. It's sort of like you've got these choices that you can make, but eventually you're going to be somewhere anyway. It's very. I didn't feel threatened. It felt very magical, very mystical kind of place, and I didn't feel threatened at all or anything like that. I felt very comfortable moving around in it, and I know Shah's work, like it's very like her paintings and her 3D pictures, only this is like a world of those things, and it's incredible to see what that looks like, to see the way that you can just kind of move around inside someone's mind almost or something, and yet it's not just about inside their mind, it's about outside their mind as well. So yeah, very powerful experience.